Optimistic about this experience, but I'm a little concerned as to how weird this is going to get.
I am terrified of physical intimacy. I'm not good at that.
Not getting stuck in one place, but exploring everything. Be curious like it's the first time you've even touched a body. Finding the food and treating his sense of taste.
I woke up this morning thinking Carly and I were going to go to a love guru.
Chris, you're gonna come around the hips and go into her thighs.
Turns out, I think she's not a love guru, she's a sex guru.
Maybe we should have put a disclaimer on that one. Get the kids out the room! Quick, there's still time.
Okay, that was a scene from last night's episode of The Bachelor.
Our homework was to watch this show last night.
Your homework. Nobody told me I had to watch this.
I did my homework. Joining us this morning.
I didn't know I had homework.
Create those awkward moments. Love guru Sephora Kingsbury. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about, for those that maybe didn't watch the show, tell me a little bit about what you did last night for The Bachelor. And by the way, it was a first date with this girl, Carly. They had not been out on a date
That's
prior.
the first date?
Yeah.
It's the first date.
Oh, that ankle touch.
Yes,
That ankle touch was something.
Yes.
I know.
Do you know that the session itself that happened last night was 2 hours long? And it was during that time that we went into a lot of emotional processing. We went into a lot of creating boundaries, talking about what their yeses was, what their nos were. And the session was to ride their edge. It was to go into the uncomfortable places to learn about themselves so they could clear the path to feeling more intimacy.
I have a question. I have many questions.
I'm sure you
The
do.
first being, the level of intimacy when this is a first date, is that weird? Or is this something that is maybe you hold off until you're a couple of dates in and a little, or is this just like, I don't know what I'm asking. I'm asking.
You want to know if this should come up early on, if this is something you should discuss early on.
This is
That's
the
a
first
good
date.
question.
What kind of intimacy are we looking for on our first date?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, correct. Absolutely. When couples come to me, there's a discussion about where they're at and
Right.
where they want to go in a session.
Okay.
And that happened before any of those exercises took place.
Okay.
As well, again, those processes, even though they might have looked wacky or racy to the world,
Right.
there was no intention to go to sex, but what the intention was is to where they could come up to those fear-based emotions and where they could dive deeper into knowing themselves, where their no's were. Carly came into a beautiful no. I'm a no, and this is where I know my truth is. And she had a hard time with that prior to this session.
This is a topic that a lot of people are uncomfortable with. So let's talk about ways that we can sort of foster intimacy with our own partners. You have a couple of tips. You say, first off, we've got to slow down.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Slowing down. Most of us are living very superficial. We're rushing to work. We're rushing to meetings. So when you get home from work, don't rush to have a conversation with your partner. Go into your own room, sit down, close your eyes, feel your breath, feel your body. No one does that, and it's so simple. Because that way when you come engagement with your partner and to have a conversation with them, you're more present and you're calmer in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I like that.
You like that.
Because some people say meditation. You don't want to call it meditation because it sounds weird to you. Then call it, go into a quiet, dark room and sit by yourself for 5 minutes and then come back out. I do that. It
Yes,
works.
you do. You do that a couple times
I do
a
that
day.
in here, in the closet. And that's, it's using that kind of term is like it centers me.
It resets
I feel it resets me.
You
Thank
also say get vulnerable, shut off the cell phones, create a date night. What are your tips for creating a good date night that's going to foster intimacy?
So whenever we schedule meetings, right? Why don't people schedule date nights? So schedule one night a week that it's set in your calendar every week that there's a date.
Right.
Take turns who's in the lead. So one night, one partner will be in the lead.
Right.
The other partner knows nothing about it. It's a surprise. You can go do a treasure hunt, take them on an adventure. Get creative. Creativity ignites passion. It ignites enthusiasm, and it opens up intimacy.
I like that. Lastly, you say use touch to get to know each other. This is a family morning show, but tell us what you mean by this.
Yeah. And so the touch is to, again, slow down and be present.
Yeah.
Same with sitting in the room. It's with your clothes on. Can you lie down and start to explore your partner's body in a nourishing way and start to feel the texture, the temperature, the way they're breathing, the way you're breathing. Again, it's not sexual, it's very intimate. And it's rare that people get to know each other at that level, even when they're sexual.
Interesting.
That's the word number 2 is key. You have to first get vulnerable to allow it to happen.
Absolutely.
See, look, man, I know what's up.
You do.
Right?
You definitely
We have
do.
to wrap, but we didn't really.
You wanted to get to that?
Can we quickly do this?
Real quickly.
You say
Yes.
you say messy is sexy. What is it?
It's my favorite term.
What does that mean?
Messy is sexy. It means all the places that people consider perceived imperfections,
Yes.
or dark or judge.
Yeah.
Share your quirks. Share the things that you think people are going to judge. Be radically honest and transparent. Because when you're able to share those pieces, the other person becomes more at ease. They start to feel safer with you. They want to get to know you. Well, why do you do that? Why do you like that? Be
Okay.
real.
Talk
Get
about
messy.
Yeah. Messy.
People with expecting the perfection. There is no such thing.
No, it doesn't exist.
Join forces over here. I like what's going on. Yeah.
Tisbora Kingsbury, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the awkward moments you created on the show last night. That was very, very entertaining.
And here. Although maybe that was my fault.
Awkwardness helps us grow. Correct?
I agree completely.
Absolutely.
And for more information, just go to our website, fox5sandiego.com. Click on the Scene on tab. Jason Hammond.
Speaking of awkward.
Jason Hammond, I would like to know. I would like to know what you learned from that segment.
I learned messy is sexy.
Yes.
And awkwardness helps us grow.
You were listening.
And
Check.
if anyone knows
Check.
anything about me, I grow a lot because of how awkward I am. All right, let's move on. Coming up, Uber looks toward the future, how the company's newest venture could put them at odds